Hello, hello. I'm Cindy and welcome to Love Your Rebel Show. It's a bit noisy, isn't it? But we'll just go on. Today is a really interesting and a subject that I've been dealing with all my life, basically, kind of thing. And yeah, it's one that I've kind of tried to delay for a long, long time. So bear with me, I might be very emotional. So, but you know, just heads up, I might be, I mightn't be. So in that case, wish me luck, huh? Okay, the actual topic I wanted to talk about today is self-love. What is self-love? To me, well, self-love, to me, I always view self-love as something that's selfish, something, you know, someone who is self-obsessed. Therefore, it never occurred to me as something I would even think about for myself, right? But you know, life goes on, life stages, changes you, hardship appears, and guess what? I started to feel used and depleted, and that's when I started questioning myself and just recently dive deeper into exploring self-love and the borderline of selfishness and self-care. So yeah, it's a really topic for me. Well, the main reason, well, it's actually how I got Love Your Rebel as a name, because you know I've been dealing with this all my life kind of thing, and you know, I'm a rebel, had to admit that. But you know, to love you yourself, that's the most hardest thing, and you know, to do for a lot of people. Some people may be much easier, but for me it's definitely one of the most hardest things, and I still am working on that. So anyway, let's learn more about self-love together. I found this through a website called bbrfoundation.org, and basically self-love stated, well, this is straight direct from them, is self-love is a state of appreciation for oneself that grows from action that supports our physical, psychological and spiritual growth, psychological. Self-love also means having a high regard for your own well-being and happiness, and yeah, that's probably a very big one at the moment for a lot of us because of this pandemic, right? Self-love also means taking care of your own needs and not sacrificing your well-being to please others, and that one's a really big one as well for me, and how we've been brought up, you know, for me as an Asian and the Asian background of, you know, you need to put others in front first. Self-love also means not settling for less than you deserve. So I don't think I really have the problems. Ever since I kind of remember, I never thought that I never ever deserve less than I already received. So sometimes you might see that as you deserve that, you know, even though sometimes it's not what you deserve. So yeah, that's a thing that you have to weigh up yourself. Self-love also means accepting yourself as you are at this very moment for everything that you are. So, you know, at the moment we're growing. As long as I'm growing, I feel great. You know, that I am always learning, and I have great rebels out there doing great things that inspire me, right? You inspire me, right? And so that helps me a lot in my own growth and mentally, and also, you know, community helps me to do that as well. So what else? It means accepting your emotions for what they are and putting your physical, emotional and mental well-being first. Well, that's really a great wide range of self-love meanings. However, figuring out what self-love looks like for you, yourself as an individual is a very important part of your mental health, right? So yeah, we need to really look after our mental health because it actually dictates a lot of things in your life, isn't it? Well, definitely for me because I'm very that kind of person. So what does self-love mean to you? Well, to me, when I self-love myself, I eat yummy food, you know, go out there, well, I consider myself a foodie. I love food, so that's my way of showing myself love. Also, shopping. I love shopping, you know, especially for clothes, you know. Girls, is that true? You love to look beautiful and people love to look at beautiful things. Isn't that, guys? Is that right? I also know the more internal things is about trusting myself. I actually trust myself a lot because I act on my instinct, and the few times that I don't really act on my instinct, I said I knew that was happening, but I didn't act on it. But it wasn't a big thing, so doesn't matter. But trusting yourself is a very important thing to, you know, self-love for me. And you know, being true to yourself. I think there's a lot of people that needs to portray something to somebody, and sometimes that doesn't shine because it's not you. When you are you, you actually shine, and you are more happier, right? So that's why, you know, being true to yourself, be authentic, you know, that's really what everybody needs, right? If that's not other people, if that's not what other people need, then you're not the person for them, right? So the next thing is how to self-care. How do I self-care? Well, I actually do listen to my body quite a lot. So if my body is feeling tired, I just close my eyes and just try to relax, you know. Or if I sit down too long, well, I don't sit down too long because I can't, my butt get numbs and will have that sensation my body is telling me, you better move, otherwise your butt will go numb, etc. But you know, yeah, so I just go to another place, and it also gives you a more clear mind and different spaces to be more creative, right? I don't know, another thing I do is I prefer to talk and connect with people person to person. Virtually is not really my thing. On call, not really my thing either. Texting is my worst, so I definitely know myself that well to know how to self-care myself in that way. But you know, the most really basic that I think for self-caring for myself is eating healthy. Well, my healthy, if you know me, is say for example, I eat an apple and then I eat a pack of chips. That to me is my balanced diet, looking after myself. But you know, everybody has their own way of caring for themselves, and that's mine. I thought I'd share that with you, and I hope to hear what you do for self-care. Why do we have to, or why do we self-love? I think the most important thing is it motivates you to make healthier choices for your life, not anyone else, but your life. You know, by doing that, you also created a high self-esteem, create great health habits, and also, you know, have really healthy, supportive relationships and community, you know, to be surrounded and make your life more meaningful, more purpose, and more fulfilled. So, well, as I always do now, is that I make sure I research a few more things about, you know, the topic I do, kind of thing is that. So I'll give you a bit more of what I've researched on about ways to practice self-love. Well, I kind of summarize a bit as well, so just to shorten it. So there's three things. Becoming self-aware and mindful. I think I touched a bit on that. So let's say people who have more self-love tend to know what they think, feel, and want, and that's definitely help you in building your self-esteem and the life that you want, right, for yourself. Focus on what matters by taking action based on need rather than want. That's the second one. So, you know, basically, you stay focused on what you need rather than what you want, right? That's pretty straightforward, but it's quite hard to do because sometimes you need to go for the short term rather than the long term. What do I call it? Long-term satisfaction, and you know, it's probably in the short term good for you, but in the long term it's not good for you. Yeah. So the third one is really, as I said before, pretty basics, having or creating healthy habits. You know, habits like exercise regularly, taking breaks regularly, eating well, you know, healthy, you know, that kind of things. I go to nature once in a while, and that just replenishes me, kind of thing. Bottom line, to practice self-care, self-love, start by being kind, patient, gentle, and compassionate to yourself, the way you would with someone else that you care about. Yeah, just keep in mind that I've also because of this and this whole month I've been thinking about kindness. I've created a kindness challenge, and I'll give you more details down below. So that's just a kickoff to more things coming up. So this is the one that I've need the most work on, is being compassionate to yourself the way that you would with someone else that you care about. I've always cared for others more than myself, and maybe because I'm a leader of a pack, maybe because it's the way I feel that's my responsibility, and or it's because I've been brought up with just that kind of mentality that I have to watch out for others prior to myself. So I understand it's easier said than done. That's why I definitely need your help, and I've also created a community, a Facebook group, Rebel Collective. So for us to help each other on our journey, and also to, you know, improve on ourselves in that way. So we are almost to the end. Thank you for listening to my deepest thoughts kind of thing, and helping me on this journey. And my message to you, my rebels out there, no matter what the circumstances are, if you are empty, you cannot give. So that's a big reminder that you have to look after yourself first before you can help others. So I would love to hear, what does self-love mean to you and how you practice it. See you then. Ciao.